Let's go to nomenclature. I know you're not Kel Richards. I had him on last night. We talked about a whole lot of language changes, particularly in relation, again, to women. But there's more out there today. Again, sperm producing is the way we're supposed to refer to men, and egg producing is supposed to be the way we refer to women. Richard Dawkins, and I'm no great fan of Richard Dawkins, he says, be buggered, you know, I'm going to keep using every single one of these prohibited words. Now, he's a lord of the left. If he's going to do that, so am I.
Isn't it incredible that you've just described those words as prohibitive, using the term man and woman? And it's really disappointing that this has come from a scientific group, a body of scientists. Now, if we can't rely on scientists who really the essence of science is who's born a man and who's born a woman, that's biology. Yes, you can identify as other things, and I've got in trouble for saying this before, Peter, but that's science, and that's science. You can't actually change that. It's really... I'm so disappointed that we're seeing scientists come to this point in our culture.
And we've been told for decades now, respect the science, don't challenge the science.
Well, I think it's going to be confusing, Peter. Don't we always refer back to science, and now we have to use these, or supposedly be pushed to use these new terminologies? Incredibly confusing. I think it's a very bad decision, and I'm glad someone is calling this out.
Warren Mundine picked up comments from pro-voice campaigner Megan Davies. She is saying, look, you don't have to have two sides to the debate when you're out there talking about the voice referendum between now and whenever the vote will be, because there really isn't two sides, there's only one side, the right side and the wrong side. So just promote the yes. This, I think, is a message to people like the ABC and others who would usually in something like this like a bit of balance. Part of their charter is to have a bit of balance. This is the thin edge of the wedge, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly. The people on the Megan Davis and her ilk are trying to suggest that if you don't believe in it, well, you have no ability of critical thought, you're not a good Australian, you're a denier of Indigenous issues. That's not the case. There's really, really serious people in Australia and among the general public who support Indigenous reconciliation. I'm one of them, who would like questions answered around what is going to be put to the Australian public, the Australian Parliament, and how it's going to impact our legislative bodies. That's not opening up debate because you don't believe in it. That's seeking some answers because you have a critical thought perspective.
The ABC would have charter obligations here, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. They have to be impartial. They should be presenting all sides of the story. So I think the problem, Peter, is that people who are opposing the voice seem to be tarred with this brush that they're racist or they don't believe in reconciliation. I think that's incredibly concerning. Both sides should be allowed to have their voices heard, and it's very important that the media, particularly the public broadcaster, make sure that this happens, because it's very dangerous if they don't.